I think I might have destroyed my customer's blower. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. I hope everybody's having a great week. Yes, I might have destroyed my customer's blower. Today I am showing you a Hitachi handheld blower. Now you could pick these up from Lowe's for I think like 179 to 200 bucks, something like that. And I've actually got to say, even though they're straight from overseas China, these are not bad blowers. They're extremely light, they blow really hard, they're super easy to work on, the rewind assemblies are really well built. The carburetor, it doesn't have any adjustments, but it really doesn't matter because you can just find a cheap aftermarket Chinese carburetor to throw right back on it, and they just keep running. These are really good blowers. We don't see them burned up a lot. I've just not seen many issues with them. So when my customer brings this in about 7 months ago, I don't think nothing of it. I take it in and they tell me that it was running, it died and would not restart. So what's the first thing I check? Fuel. It has no water in it, it smells fresh, everything looks good. So the next thing I go to is the plug. I want to make sure that the unit's not burned up. And a lot of times you can tell that it's immediately when you pull the plug out. If it's white, you can tell that the fuel mixture was incorrect and it might be burned up. But it looked fine, but what it was super wet. It was completely flooded out. So that could be one of two things. It could be that it was just simply flooded and they had the choke on too long, primed it too much, something like that. Or it could have lost its fire and they could have just been pulling all day and it would have never popped off. So the first thing I do is check for fire and it's got plenty. That's not the issue. So my next assumption is that it's flooded. I'm gonna grab a new plug. I'm gonna pull on the rope a couple times, let the cylinder dry out. I'm gonna pop that new plug in there and I'm gonna start it on up. So that's what I do. Pop the new plug in there, pull as hard as I can, and that's when I think I broke it. Because as soon as I pull it, I hear a sound that you don't wanna hear. Metal hitting metal. So I think, what did I do? Did I put the wrong plug in it? Was it too long? Did it hit the piston and break the rod? I don't know. I gotta figure this out. So I pull the plug back out. It's completely smashed down. I know I hit the top of the piston. I'm freaking out. Did I just destroy my customer's blower, assuming I knew what plug went in it? No, I was afraid that I blew a hole straight through the top of the piston, and I looked down inside. Let me show you what it looks like. If I look down in there, yeah, you can see it was hitting. But check this out. If I pull the piston up as high as it can go, it is right there underneath the threads. I mean, that piston is definitely coming up way too high. Now, this has never happened to me before, and I am almost 100% that I've used these same plugs in these blowers before and never had an issue. Thankfully though, this particular customer was a family friend and it didn't bother them that much. They weren't really worried about it until blowing season comes around. So they just said, hold on to it. When you got time, check it out and see what's going on. So what do you guys think? Do you think I broke their blower? I mean, I did for months until another customer came in with the same exact blower. And guess what, guys? They had the same exact problem. They said that it was running, it died, would not restart. I immediately, when they set it on the counter, I don't let them leave. I take the plug out and look at it and it's smashed. So I pull the piston up as high as it can go, and you can tell the piston on that other Hitachi is coming up way too high too. So there's something going on here. I tell the customer, I'm not dealing with these anymore. Sorry, you'll have to get you a new blower. So at this point, I feel a little better. I feel better knowing that maybe it wasn't me. Maybe I didn't break it. My massive right arm strength. I know I do pull on a lot of things hard, but I've never broken anything like that. But I wasn't convinced until 3 weeks ago. I had another customer bring in their blower, which is a Tanaka blower. But guess what, guys? It is the exact same blower as the Hitachi. You can tell there is nothing different between these two other than the color. I'll show you the other side. These are the same blower, both of them from China. So when I first look at it, I don't think about the blowers from months ago that were smashing the plugs, but when I took this plug out, guess what, guys? This thing is smashed too. Can you see that? Completely. Let's see what the piston looks like. Take a gander down in there. Look at that. That piston is sitting right below the threads. That is crazy. And you can see, yeah, it hit a little bit, not as bad as the last one that I completely destroyed the top end, but this thing did definitely hit. Now, just for giggles, I'm going to check compression. Now on the Hitachi, after about 4 pulls, I had 120 pounds. On this Tanaka, I haven't checked it yet, so let's see what's going on with it. So yeah, 4 to 5 pulls, I can get up to 120. That's perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and break out my endoscope. I get mine from Depth Tech. I love it. It's one of my favorite tools ever because it's got this tiny little camera with a flashlight. You can get in all kinds of nooks and crannies. I do leave a link in the description box below if you wanna get your own. So let's take a look here. I mean, the piston looks beautiful. I mean, I can show you that. On the screen, it sort of looks a little different, I think, but it's actually perfect. Yeah. So just to show you what these both do, when you pull them, they pull fine, they've got great compression, but when I put a brand new plug in, tighten it on down here, and go to pull the pull rope, it just hit. That's as far as it's gonna go. It's not going to come out anymore because it's already smashed. I just smashed the new plug from the piston hitting the spark plug. So, and this is the correct plug that goes in it. I don't get it. Yeah, completely smashed. Now at the shop, I would never actually tear into something like this that has internal engine problems. One, because we are $80 an hour, and most of the time, even though something might take me longer, most of my repairs, I only charge $15.50 to $40 labor. So for me to tear something completely apart, and it might be detrimental and broke, it's just too big of a gamble for me to make a customer spend the money on the diagnosis. But I'm really interested to know what's going on here, since it's becoming an epidemic. So let's tear it apart. All right, it is torn apart. The cylinder, let me grab my flashlight here, let you see inside there. It looks like it was hitting the top down there, which is sort of crazy, but the inside of the piston, line me up here, but it looks really good still, which is surprising because this thing has a huge score on it, which was covered up. Like, you couldn't see it through the exhaust side, but that is a gnarly groove there. So everything else though looks tight. I do not think that the bearing is out. Nothing is loose. I am sort of at a little bit of a loss here. My next assumption would be that the piston is bulging. I feel it a little bit raising up in the center. I'd have to take it apart just a little bit more to make sure on that. But everything down here looks perfect. I mean, I don't know, guys. What do you think about that? Give me a comment below. Tell me what you think is going on here. I'm gonna assume this is bulging because I can feel it bulging up, and this is like a super cheap feeling piston, but this does. It feels like it's bulged up in the center. So I've got an idea. So we know the Tanaka blower was running before it smashed its plugs. So maybe if I take one of these compression washers right here that are on the spark plugs off of a plug and put it on the plug that I'm gonna put in the unit, it'll give it enough clearance to run maybe. Let's try it. Just saying, taking one of these washers off a spark plug is like the most unfun thing ever. Sweet. All right, let's see what she does. That is insane. Oh my gosh, I blew the entire driveway off. My customer is going to be so happy. Dwight, if you're watching this video, come by the shop, pick up your blower, no charge. I'm just excited that we figured out how to fix this issue. That is insane. Well guys, I'm gonna chalk that one up to a job well done. Hopefully this video saves you time, money, and frustration, for sure. This was a good one. I can't believe it turned out that way, but I'm happy for it. If you haven't found me at Facebook, find me at facebook.com/Chickanic. Find me on Instagram at TheRealChickanic, or find me at Chickanic.com, where you get your own t-shirts, hoodies, and long sleeve shirts. Thanks guys, and have a great day.